Farmers in the Pomahaka River catchment have formed a group to focus on improving river water quality in their area. In a project coordinated by the New Zealand Landcare Trust, they've worked to bring the majority of land users, non-farming stakeholders and town dwellers on board.
The Watercare Group came about in 2014 after having a meeting with the Pathways for the Pomahaka project, and at that meeting basically we saw some graphs that showed that the water quality in the Pomahaka was really quite bad compared to what was expected, and there was sort of a watershed moment, and there was small group of farmers in the audience decided to have a meeting, got together at the local hotel and had a meeting and decided the only way that we're ever going to improve the water quality in our area if it was done by farmers from the bottom up. We sort of like assumed that it was the intensification of land use in the lower catchment or down close to the river, which is predominantly a shift from fattening sheep into dairy. That came about because all the regional council's testing sites were based in the lower catchment right down by where the tributaries ended. So that became the focus of our group, was to find out what the water quality was like, not only at the bottom of the catchment, but at the top of the catchment or across the whole catchment. There's no doubt that the intensification of land use has had an effect on the water quality in the area, and the figures would show that. But what our figures are showing, that it's not just intensification to dairy, it's all forms of farm intensification. So it starts in the foothills and works its way down and accumulates as it goes. And in some cases, with our testing regime that we've put in place, we're finding quite bad spikes in the upper reaches of the tributaries as well. As a group, we've formed an incorporated society, so we've got our own specific group to attract funding. Our group right now, we've got 111 members out of a possible, there's around 320 farming entities in the catchment. And if we can get everybody buying in, doing little bits of good management practices and take responsibility for the water leaving their farms, it'll all accumulate to having good clean water in the main river. On our farm, we started doing water testing 3 years ago, and it wasn't until you test your own water that you know, A, you know you've got a problem, and B, you can start working out ways of fixing the problem. So that's the next step in our group as well, for everybody to learn about their own water qualities and then get people who know about it to come and assist you in working out remedies so that you can sit back and be comfortable that your business enterprise is not contributing to pollution in the river. Since we've started testing on our farm, there's been some real quick fixes. So we found one paddock in our effluent area that there was obviously a crack in the ground where the effluent was disappearing. So we just made that paddock a no effluent zone. And so that's fixed. We've also made sure that we've got enough effluent storage so that we, at the end of the day, to be down here, we need to have 90-day storage. So we've changed from 3 or 4 day enviro saucer type system to having a minimum 90-day storage. In fact, we've probably got more like 120 days storage. We've also increased our effluent area, so we're spreading our nutrients over a lot bigger area. We've done riparian planting along some of the minor tributaries, and we're starting on our drains on our farm. So obviously this is all about protecting the water before it gets into the bigger tributaries, so all the waterways are fenced off, and we're starting with a planting plan. At this stage it's all long grass, so we've got an effective buffer zone. The next step is to make it look good and to make it more effective as well.
The New Zealand Landcare Trust in 2013 got a Sustainable Farming Fund grant to do a 1-year scoping project for the Pomahaka, because they'd found out that from the regional council testing results that the water quality was quite poor. So they were having a scoping project to see what a larger project would look like. So some of the things that were kind of identified were there needed to be better fertiliser management, better effluent management, and wintering was quite a problem in the catchment. The Landcare Trust is halfway through a 3-year Sustainable Farming Fund project. The Otago Water Plan essentially puts a lot of the onus upon the farmers. It's really been a good vehicle for farmers to lead the project themselves, so it's farmers working with farmers and trying to own the problem and identify what they can do, rather than being told by Regional Council, this is what you must do. And that's really how the Otago Water Plan works out. To get engagement with farmers, we're just trying to organise a variety of events to help them to see that there are problems and the potential solutions are not as out of grasp as it could be. So what we do is we try and work with the farmers, and we're trying to just promote the fact that there is actually a problem and something needs to be done. The New Zealand Landcare Trust has been trying to work with the communities to raise awareness, so that's not only the farming community but the wider community, and trying to get schools involved with riparian planting and wetland enhancement. And as part of what's ahead for the future, we'll be actively supporting the Watercare group as they look to do some trials on constructed wetlands and sediment traps, and hopefully we'll be bringing in some children to some of the schools, involving schools, to help plant and raise awareness of those water quality issues.
This program was made with funding from New Zealand On Air.